Good morning, Justin.
Good afternoon, Jason. I mean, I guess it depends where you are, right?
Oh, that's right. It's 1:30 in the afternoon here. Before our guest, it is 10:30 in the morning because
God
he's in a
bless him.
nicer area than us.
He's in a lefter area than us, meaning geographically speaking, not a. Oh, geez. Okay, never mind. I'm going to stop talking.
Justin, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing good. It's amazing. Things are starting to open up again. I actually had a rehearsal for my first live classical performance, which is going to be next week in the Philadelphia area.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Your
It's
voice
exciting.
is so powerful, though. Are you worried about spreading germs to the audience?
It's going to be outdoors. Also, ladies and gents, I'm totally vaccinated, and I will be a number of feet away. In fact, whenever I sing, we make sure that we're double this. We're 12 feet away because of the aerosols, especially when I'm singing. So, oh yeah, man, we're still being careful. We're still doing what we got to do. So, my friends, yeah, check out Justin Gonzalez Tenor on Facebook if you want some more information about that. But that's not why we're here. We're here for Hi, I'm Jason. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm good. Oh, shoot.
He got so bored with what I was saying. He's like, "Geez, I'm gonna watch our show instead."
I'm good. We have an exciting guest backstage, and let's do our housekeeping before he eats all the sushi.
You know what? Let's do that. It's a great idea. Hello, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Again, if you're watching live, if you're catching this as a rebroadcast, hello, and thank you so much for being with us. If you want to catch some of our past episodes, finished products, head on over to youtube.com/user/superjpo711, or just go to youtube.com and type in "Hi, I'm Jason," and you will find our show. Plenty of fantastic past shows with fantastic guests, and we are so glad to add one more to our list. If you are watching on Twitch, please be sure to follow us on twitch.tv/HIJ podcast to not just enjoy our show, but also the things that we decide to host. And you never know, some nights me and Jason, our insomnia syncs up, and we decide to go live in the middle of the night. So you won't know when that's happening unless you follow us on twitch.tv/HIJ podcast. Also, we try our best to disseminate all information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Jason and Justin. Also, you can just type in the search bar, "Hi, I'm Jason," and you'll find us. But again, facebook.com/Jason and Justin. Yes, not inseminate. That's something.
Disseminate.
That's yes, that's it's the afternoon time, so we can't go by our unofficial title, The Morning Wood. So, well, maybe for our guest, since it's 10:30 in the morning for him. And lastly, my friends, if you want to support what it is that we're doing over here, you can visit our digital tip jar on Venmo by searching @Jason-Pollock-2. Again, that helps us do improvements on our show. It also helps Jason over here keep his Wi-Fi on. So please, my friends, do not walk, run, and help us any way that you can. And again, we just absolutely love being able to put on these shows for you. And Jason, that is all of the news that I have. Who do we have watching? I see we have some comments coming.
We have Margarita in there, Tom Sugar, and I appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hello.
Hey.
They're gonna love our guest because I love him. I'm so excited to bring him out. He's a face. If you look up his IMDb, he's got so many credits. Hello, Lulu Lounge. He's been in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Friends, Seinfeld, Escape from Alcatraz, just to name a few. He's just an incredible actor, and I'm so honored that he decided to join us this morning in California and this afternoon here in Jersey and this evening in England.
Yes.
Please, let's bring him out. Larry Hankin.
Ooh, Larry Hankin. Yeah. Cool. How you doing, guys?
Great. Larry,
How are
thank
you
so much for joining us.
I'm happy to be joined or to be invited in. Thank you very much.
Of course. Larry, you're so recognizable. You're such an icon in the pop culture world.
I guess I'm still fighting to get a name to the face. That's my big That's my bucket list. That
You'll say the name. Yeah,
if you say the name, you understand. Oh, that's the guy. Or if you see my picture, you go, that's the guy. That's that guy.
exactly.
I want to get it together. Oh, that's Larry Hankin. Oh, yeah, right. So yeah, it's a big. It's a dream. It's a dream.
Sorry, Justin.
No. I was just going to say though. I remembered on the post that I made last night on social media. I said that you have almost 200 credits according to IMDb. I'm looking at 195 projects you've been a part of in some way, shape, or form, either as a guest a guest actor or as a recurring role. I mean, what a hell of a career, my friend.
You work with the legends. You work with the best.
And that's only the stuff I've done on the screen.
Yeah, and that, but I made sure to make that distinction when I made this
I'm
point.
writing a book right now about what I've done when you're not watching me. Much more interesting. Much more interesting. And also what I did right before I got on camera. In other words, what I was doing on the set, what was going on, with me. Because I just got to tell you in front, I'm a dyslexic. So I have dyslexia. So I interpret reality in just a slightly different way than you two people do. And this has been proven over my lifetime that, I'm not, they're looking at it in a different way, whoever I'm with. And so it sometimes it butts against reality. So that becomes very interesting to read about, I'm betting.
So you kind of see the world through the eyes of like David Lynch.
Yeah, and there's a lot of us. There are a lot of us out there. So just be careful. Just warning you. There's a lot of famous actors are dyslexic, and it takes it's slightly different in each person. In other words, it's not an exact replication of. What do you call it?
So it's not always just reading backwards.
In other words, it's very hard for me to memorize lines, written lines by other people mainly, sometimes by myself. But who's the guy from the Fonz? Who's the Fonz?
Henry Winkler.
Henry, yeah,
big dyslexic guy.
Really?
Major
Wow.
dyslexic guy. Yeah. So I don't understand because he has very difficult time remembering lines too.
Do they give you a lot of opportunity to improv in the roles you take?
Well, sometimes yes, sometimes not. But in the beginning, it was really hard because I'm just a new guy, just another actor, and I would go up on my lines or something like that, or I would ask for time because I knew in front that I had dyslexia. See, when I was an improv guy, I was in Second City in the committee. It didn't matter. I could improvise like that. For dyslexic, that's easy. I have total, access to my subconscious. Total access. If you put a camera and a light on, well, this is back in the day when we were. I mean, you've got improv is just like any other athletic exercise. I mean, you got to work out at it. You have to exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Improv rules. There are rules to it, and I can improvise with you guys now. It's like a muscle. It's just like any other thing. So, but when I was good at it, you just at the drop of a hat, I could improvise anything because I had total access to the creative part of my brain.
Is that where you started at Second City?
Excuse me?
Did you start at Second City? Is that?
Right. Yeah, I started at Second City, and then a couple of us just broke for San Francisco and started our own company called The Committee. And what we had in mind was to rival Second City. And we did it. We became a tourist attraction of San Francisco, like Second City is a tourist attraction in Chicago. So it took us 2 years to do it, but we were there for 10 years. So I was really a good improviser, but then, I went down and started memorizing lines, and I lost that. I wasn't in shape. So I kind of lost that ability, that muscle. I lost that muscle. But then I was confronted with memorizing lines, and that I hit a wall because I hadn't used the dyslexia, or I was using the dyslexia in a very improvisational way. I was a stand-up comedian before I went into improv, and I would talk off the top of my head, just like I'm doing with you guys. I would get up on the stage and I would talk to the audience, and I would be very funny because I could talk about anything, and I would, feed off of how they were feeling, where they were laughing. I'd go with that. But then when I started memorizing lines, it was like a wall, and I would need a week more than everybody else. And then I could do it. It was a time involved. Not that I couldn't memorize it, but it was very difficult for me. When I would look at a page, I remember exactly working with Vince Gilligan. I did El Camino when I did the movie. I did 2 shows, and then I did the movie. And he liked me, I guess, so much that he wrote a monologue for me and just presented it to me, or he didn't, but it was given to me on the day of the shoot. And that's like freaked me out. You can't do that to Larry Hankin. It's no, man. I freaked out. I mean, in the dressing room with the AD, the assistant AD, the guy was about, I don't know, he's about 20. I mean, he just got freaked. I got to go back to the set. I can't be here now. And he just split. So I said,
you literally freaked out.
Excuse me?
So you literally freaked out. You had
no. I went. I can't do this, man. No. What do you? I got like kind of angry, excited. No. What do you mean? I have. How long do I have? He said 2 hours. I can't memorize this in 2 hours. That kind of freak out.
Yeah.
He didn't like the anger about what do you mean? I want to. Let me talk to Vince. He's not here. Oh Christ! He split. So I just improvised that. You can watch it. You can watch my improv. But I couldn't do it in 2 hours. I tried. What I did was I just read it for 2 hours over and over and over again. And I got the gist of it. It was law. It was a law thing. I was trying to keep the cop out of the Winnebago because they were hiding inside. It was, I was out in the desert. I was old Joe. So they were hiding. Aaron and Brian were hiding in the Winnebago, and I was talking to the cop. And I had what he had somebody write. It wasn't Vince who wrote it, but he had somebody write it. A long legal explanation to the cop of why he couldn't go in there because the Winnebago was on my property and he didn't have a search warrant. So it was a long legal thing. And of course, the character would have that information because he was dealing and crushing illegal cars, stolen cars. Mm-hmm. So he would have all that legalese ready because he knew the cops might come. But I couldn't memorize it. So I just improvised it. I thought, well, let me dig deep and see if I can.
You hit the important points, though, right?
Excuse me?
You hit the important points, so.
Well, I had no. I didn't give an F about that. I just wanted to get at something out that they could use and not know that I was improvising a written monologue. That was my key. They'll never know that I improvised this was my key to not running scared or, just out into the desert. So what I did was I improvised. I just, I wouldn't cop to it. See, I didn't tell anybody that I didn't memorize it. When they said, okay, you're up, get out there. I get out, and see, what I did was I made up an excuse why either I couldn't, why I might not be able to say it verbatim. That was as close as I would get. But I say, are you ready to go, Larry? I said, yeah. Oh, and then here's what I did. What I did was I figured out how I would be able to memorize it if the director and the crew and the producers would let me do it my way. See, I thought they'll never know, and they will let me do it my way. And it's the assumption of a guy in panic is amazing. And he wouldn't go with, yeah, I'll get away with this. Sure. They'll never know. Especially Vince Gilligan won't know. So he said, are you ready? I said, fine. And I had already, so I said, listen, I know how to shoot this. I figured out how we can shoot this. I said to the director. And he looked at me
Did he love that?
He did. And he looked at me, he goes, really, Larry, you figured out how I said, yeah. I mean, like totally innocent. Yeah. And he said, okay, let's hear it. And anyway, he really was, I hooked him. I go, well, okay. What we can do is we'll shoot it in sections, like you shoot me, I'll say something, and then you go to the cop, and then you cut to the, like I was like in the editing room, and then we'll cut to the cop, and then we'll cut to the Winnebago, and then we'll cut to me, and while you're shooting them, I could memorize the next section. And he said, well, that's an interesting way to go, Larry. But what we're going to do is we're going to shoot it in one take. It's a walk and talk. You're going to get 100 feet down there, and you're just going to say the whole thing right up to the camera. Cut, and we have a limo right here. We were out in the middle of the desert. I mean, that was a junkyard reel in the middle of the desert. And we have a limo right here, and you'll say it. It'll be one take. You'll walk, you'll talk, cut, and you'll hop in a limo, and we'll drive you back to production, and you're through for the day. So that's it. How about that? And I said, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you can do that? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, so get 100 feet out there and just walk towards the camera. I'll give you, action, walk and talk, and one take, we're out of here. Okay. I get down there, and I thought, okay, I'll just, I'll improvise it. It'll be cool. So I did. He said, all right, and action, Larry. And I walked and I talked. And all that was in my mind was no ums, no uhs, no stuttering. Just keep your mouth moving. Don't get your tongue mixed up with your teeth. And we're cool. Okay. So I started to walk and talk. And I'm just legalese. I'm just, saying legal stuff. Da-da-da-da-da. And then I thought, I don't know. And it's really, I have two minds. I'm saying the words, but I'm also thinking, this is not going. I'm going to be fired. There's no way I can get away. Once I was doing it and understood that I was making this up and it wasn't what Vince Gilligan wanted, I thought, okay, I'm going to be fired at the end. So that was it. I suddenly relaxed in the middle, blah, 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 blah. And cut, and I turned to the director. He was standing right there, right next to the camera. And I'm saying, okay, now I'm going to get fired. And he goes, okay, let's just do one more, and then we'll let you go. Okay, let's just do one take, but we got it. And I was shocked, man. I thought, I did it. Holy cow, now I don't have to worry. I could do ums, I could do ers, I could stutter because they got it in the can. At least they got it. And so, but I'll do, he says, okay, so get down there. I get down there, and, there's a what they call a script girl on the set. And what she does is her job is to just tell you when you leave out a word or a sentence, and they'll circle it. Yeah, Justin is laughing already.
I'm sorry.
He knows where this is going.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, and Jason too.
You see where it's going.
Everybody out there knows where this is going. So I get out there, and all of a sudden I see the script girl. Actually, it's a woman. I don't know why they call it a girl, but okay. This script woman comes walking towards me. Now, I've been through this. I'm an actor. I've been around the block. So I go, okay, she's going to tell me what I left out. And I thought, well, he said we got it. So it's a word or a sentence, and I can handle that. Okay. So she comes up and she says, and I go, okay, what did I leave out? And she just shows me the script. Every fucking word is circled. Every word. And I've been in this, 192 things I've acted in. Never have I seen a page like that. It was amazing. I thought, wow, man, you're really doing your job. That's really cool. You're on the ball. Thank you. You earned your cash, you know. And I said, well, but I got the gist of it, right? And she says, the director wants it read as written. And I said, I want to talk to Vince Gilligan. He's not here. Oh, I want to talk to the writer. The director wrote the speech. And then I hear the director yell, everything okay, Larry? Yeah, everything's fine. Okay. And then he starts walking towards me. And I thought, okay, when two people have walked towards you, that's not good. It's not good.
The relief pitcher's warming up. Yeah.
And he says, you having difficulty? I go, no. I just wouldn't cop to it. I just wouldn't. I go, no. He says, okay. Then the cameraman, the cinematographer says, is anything wrong, Jake? And Jake yells, no, it's okay. Don't you want to be by the camera? And I'm just standing there. Why don't they just fire me? Jesus Christ. I mean, I was getting bored with this. I really was. Because that's part of the dyslexic go-to. Yes, you know, you've been in these kind of situations and you just want it over with. And so he goes, no, I'm going to walk with my actor. And he's got the script. And I go, no, this is like kindergarten. He's going to walk with me right next to me.
Oh, God.
He says, yeah. And he goes, where's the frame end? You know, and it was right off my shoulder. It was about here. It was just a frame like that. And he goes, okay, I'm going to stand right here, Larry. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And he says, okay, all right. And action, Larry. And I just did the same thing. He didn't give me any directions or he didn't talk to me. He just said, okay, action, go, Larry. And I'm walking. By the way, when they use your name, Larry, it's not good. When they start using your name.
As opposed to your character's name or Mr. Hankin.
Or your character's name or just, you know, just come over here and do this or, you know, just general stuff. Or when he talks to you, you go over there. But when they say Larry, it's not good. So he says, okay. And he's walking and he says, that okay? Yeah. Yeah. So I go, blah, 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 blah. And I see him walking. I can, you know, see just at the, and he's got his head buried in the book. And he's walking and I'm walking. And I go, okay, when I get to the end, then I'll be fired. Then I go, cut. Okay. All right, Larry. Larry's dismissed. Thank you very much. You know, and they clap. You know, they always clap when any actor is dismissed. Okay, Larry's going out. I get in the limo and I drive, and the limo drives away. And I go, what the fuck happened? I had no idea how can they? So I had to wait. I called the production company. I said, when is this episode going to be on? That was an episode. And they go in 2 weeks. So I waited 2 weeks and I phoned all my friends and I said, watch it because I want to ask you questions about it. Because I wanted to see what they thought or how it went, whatever. Or if they even used it, I don't know. So I watch it finally, and I'm all on tenterhooks and stuff, and I watch it. And here's what it was. And I said to my friends, I go, okay, did you watch it? Yeah, I called them immediately as it was over. You watch it? Yeah. What did you see? You were walking and talking about some legal stuff to the cop to keep him out of the Winnebago. Brian and Aaron were hiding in there, and there was a cop, and there was you, and you were walking. No, that's not what you saw. No, that's what you saw. Okay, and I called 3 or 4 friends that went through the same thing. What did you see? Walking, talking, cop, hiding. No, that's not what you saw. Well, what did I see? What you saw was me starting. I memorized the first line. So you see me, you know, okay, and you can't go in there because blah, blah, blah. And then they cut to the cop listening to me. And then there's a voiceover of me talking. And then they cut into the Winnebago. And then they cut back to the cop. And I'm still talking. I'm talking. It's a voiceover. And then they cut to me because I said something that was right on, you know, improvisationally right on to what needed to be said. They cut to me for one sentence. So now I've said 2 sentences on camera. You know how long it takes to say a sentence? It takes 2 seconds or maybe 3 if you're talking slow. So that's 6 seconds. back to the cop, into the Winnebago, a close-up on Brian, a close-up on Aaron, back to a close-up on the cop, another one to me, Aaron, bop, 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 back to me. That's it. I was on screen for 10 seconds. And what they did was, and the director knew from the second line I said the first time I started to walk, he knew I didn't have it. This guy does not know what's going on as far as what he wrote. But I had said enough legal things to keep the cop out of there that they just cobbled together a voiceover. And then they just cut to me 3 times. I think it was 3 times, not 4. 3 times, 9 minutes, 9 seconds. Cut to me whenever I said something that applied and worked. And then anything else they garbled while they were talking inside or whatever. Because I listened very carefully to the voiceover. I watched it twice. I'd recorded it and watched it twice. So whenever I said something that didn't really apply, but they wanted to hear the talking, they muffled it or they lowered the sound and brought up what they were saying, you know, the cop or whatever. And it worked perfectly. But I talked to everybody and nobody knows the difference.
That's some brilliant editing.
But yeah, but it was the director who knew because he didn't get mad at me. He didn't say I didn't write that.
You got it in your head automatically.
He started to edit immediately. He said, "This guy is improvising. I'll have him do it again to cover any spots." That's why his head was buried in the text. He was listening for when I would hit a marker that had to be said in the script, and he was listening for that. And I did between the 2 takes hit all the stations of the cross that he needed. And so he said, "Okay, after 2, goodbye. You know, Larry's dismissed." I got it, but it was the director who was, you know, the genius of that. But it's Movies is Magic, which is the name of a friend's production company. Movies is Magic, and it is. And the second thing I learned about that is you can, if you're in a movie, any kind of movie, film, short, if it's on film, even on tape, if you're in a movie, you can't be bad. It's impossible because they'll just not use it. Or they'll put a voiceover or they'll edit around it, use your voice and cut to somebody else if you just look bad or doing something wrong. So it's all in the editing room where the creativity, you know, goes. Anyway.
That makes sense. I every time I did a film, like I just did a bunch of indie films, but that we do, they'd say action, we do our thing, cut. Okay, now we're gonna. And in my head, I'm like, well, was that okay? Did you guys? Nobody gives me any feedback on that. I'm so neurotic, though, and you're right. That's what it is. They can fix it.
Well, A, they can fix it, but B, if you're a director, you know this, or I don't know, maybe people tell you this, but the best, and I've worked with a lot, like 3 or 4 really top of the line. I mean, like John Huston, John Hughes, Larry David. I mean, these guys are, you know, they know what they're doing. And all of them do not direct. They do not give you direction. They'll maybe say, you know, could you go over here instead of over there because the camera, you know, I can't get the camera over. You know, they'll work within the framework of technical stuff. But as far as, you know, saying, you know, no, or be angrier or be mad or be quiet or tell you how to act, they don't do that. So the first clue was when I was talking to a major star on another movie, but he had worked with Woody Allen. And I was asking him about Woody because I used to open for him, Woody, as a stand-up comedian.
Wow.
I was a stand-up comedian. So I asked him about, you know, what's it like being directed by him? And he said, it's a horror trip. He doesn't direct. He just stands there. He doesn't give you anything. He doesn't say anything. And I started to ask around, and it turns out, no, none of the directors that I worked with or that other stars worked with that were major directors, they don't. What they'll do is they'll give you maybe a suggestion of Somebody described it as like poetry. It's a poetic direction. They'll give you a suggestion of something that might trip you off into where he wants you to go, but he'll never tell you where he wants you to go. And I've never been directed by Don Siegel, in Escape from Alcatraz. Never gave me a direction. I was there for 3 months on Alcatraz. Never directed anybody.
You were so good in that, though. You knew what to do.
Well, no. What he would say was, like, this is the extent of the direction that Don Siegel gave me. All right, cut. Larry, come here. And the great ones take you aside. They don't direct you or even talk to you in front of people. They'll take you aside, maybe put their arm around you. I remember Don Siegel took Clint Eastwood aside. He wanted to talk to him about the scene, and he put his arm around him. And I thought, that's what I want. I want a great director to put his arm around me and tell me about the scene. That's another bucket list I have. And so what he would do is he'd say, Don Siegel directing me, he'd say, cut, Larry, come here. And he would call me aside and he would walk aside. He didn't put his arm around me, but it was almost, he was walking and talking with me. And he said, what are you doing? And I was, I was shocked. I go, what do you mean? What am I doing? He said, you're in the cell there. Well, here's the setup. If I get too loquacious, just shut me down. But what the scene was, he said, Larry, come here. I would always show up. There was very few days that I wasn't on camera somewhere. So I would always have to go to the island and get on a frickin' boat at 8 o'clock in the morning and stay there until 8 o'clock at night when the only boats came back. So if you were called and you were going to shoot at like 5:30 p.m., you had to get up at 6 o'clock, get down to the dock, and get on an 8 o'clock boat or a 7:30 boat.
Oh my God!
Or else you can't get out on the island, and you're fucked. So, and there was only one boat that left at noon, and that was only for CEOs and producers, and you couldn't get on it, even if you were dying. The ambulance had to wait or get there at 7:30 in the morning. Or wait until 7 o'clock at night for one of the boats to go out there to pick us up. So, I mean, it was just, we were trapped out there. So it was like being in prison, strangely.
But you escaped.
What?
But you escaped.
But I did escape after 3 months. So anyway, the scene was that Clint Eastwood and the warden, McGowan, were talking, but they were talking like this to one another. Don Siegel wanted a side view, profile. So he was shooting this way, and they were talking this way. But they were up on Tier C, which is where our cells were, and it was an empty cell. So they had to get the camera way back. He wanted the empty cell, or he wanted the cell as the background. But he didn't want across. In other words, you put the camera in the cell and shoot the other way. You want to shoot in. So they had the camera over the back. They had a board or something over the tier, and they were shooting this way. And he says, Larry, because I always show up, because I always wanted to watch. I was always on the set, even if I wasn't working. And I would always be in costume, the blue thing. So he said, oh, Larry, get in that cell. I go, why? I'm not in this. I'm not even supposed to work today. Get in the cell. I go, why? He says, because I'm shooting a profile and it's an empty cell. I just want a body in there. There's a hole in the middle of the frame. He says, so get in there. Just get in there. I go, well, what am I doing? It doesn't matter. Just get in there. I just a body. I want a body. Okay. And he would talk to me like that because he was like my grandfather. We were like grandson and grandfather. I mean, we were like friends, professional friends. I mean, he wouldn't talk to anybody else like he talked to me. He was like, come here, okay, I get it. So he says, okay. And so they're talking, Clint and the warden are talking. I'm in there. Oh, so I said, how much time do I have before you're gonna shoot? He said, well, we got to set up the lights. So you got about 4 minutes, but maybe 5. Okay, I'll be right back. Shoo. So I run to the prop department Warner Brothers prop department on Alcatraz. You know, they had trucked in stuff and had big tables with all kinds of props. It was a 10-pole movie. They could spare no expense. So I go up and I run up and I said, yeah, give me a checkerboard and some checkers. Well, what do you want this for? Well, they got me in a scene there. They got me in a cell, and I want to be doing something. I'll be playing checkers or something. So we don't have a checkerboard. Well, what do you got? I got a chessboard. I got a chess set. Oh, give me the chess set. Okay, fine. So I get the chess set. I'm in there. I'm setting up stuff. All right. And then that's how friendly he was. He goes, okay, Clint gets Clint in there. He gets McGowan in there. They're the stars of the fucking movie. I'm just, some guy. And he goes, Larry, you ready? yeah, I'm ready. Okay, we're gonna shoot it. Oh, man, that's so he goes, okay, and action. And now they do this. Cut. Larry, come here. Now what? Okay. So I go over and he takes me, he says, what are you doing? I said, I'm playing checkers. You got a chess set. Yeah, I know, but see, Alcatraz doesn't have a checkerboard or checkers for Charlie Butts, my character. So Charlie accepted a chess set to pass the time, but he doesn't know how to play chess. He only knows how to play checkers. So he's playing checkers with the chess set. He says, that's what you're doing? I go, yeah, but I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything. No. I just want to know what the hell you're doing. That's all. Get back in there. It's okay. Oh, go. So that's my relationship.
I love that you're so professional. No matter how small the part, you come up with a backstory.
Yes. And there's later on, yeah. And because I used it again later on for another excuse. He asked me why I was doing something, and I gave him a huge text, which I just made up before I got to him. And he said, "What are you doing?" Backstory.
It's great.
Speaking of improvisation and backstory, because that's such a beautiful improvisation moment of I'm making Shinola out of shit, kind of a situation. And Mrs. Banis, one of our listeners, obviously is a big
Shinola out of shit, and there's no shoes for Miles.
Right. Well, Mrs. Banis, though, is a big fan of Friends, and she wanted to know about how much Mr. Heckles did you improvise? That character was too perfect.
Well, to be totally honest, I made, and this is compliments to the writers, I made no improvisation at all. It was as fucking written. And thank goodness, because I got the character off of the page. Mm-hmm. Because it was so solid that all I had to do was show up. I mean, and say the words, and it was Mr. Heckles. I mean, the attitude was there. I mean, the whole thing, the hair, everything, the costume, it was all on the page. It was brilliant. And it's the most famous thing I've ever done. I mean, I can't stop being Mr. Heckles. It's crazy.
When we announced that you were going to be on the show, people were commenting, "Oh my God, that's the guy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the guy from Friends, Seinfeld, Escape from Alcatraz." They're naming your credits, but my niece reaches out and said, "That's the guy from the Three Little Pigs."
Whoa! Yeah. Okay, for your niece, man. Right on.
Was that the Shelley Duvall thing you did? Was that the Shelley Duvall thing you did? Was that the fairy tale?
That was a fairy tale theater. Okay, I got a story about that. I've never even thought about that. But yeah, there was an aha moment on Three Little Pigs. The director was I can't remember his name, but he's a good friend. I haven't seen him in years. But he was a friend of mine because we were in the committee together in years before that. So and that was the only reason that I believed what he told me, because he gave me a direction, or not a direction, but a suggestion. I was Mr. Man for the Three Little Pigs. I was the guy selling him the bricks, the straw, the mud, whatever they made their houses out of. I don't know. I saw them their pig pen. So anyway, we did a rent, and Fred Willard was in it. And, there was just 3 stars with Mr. Mann, Fred Willard, and another guy I can't remember his name, but he's big now. He's got a movie out right now. He's a stand-up comedian. Anyway, so we do the scene. We shoot the scene. We rehearse it. We shoot it. And the director comes up to me and he says, "I think you're going in the wrong direction." That's a direction, because it's not specific. It's non-specific, but it's a good direction. It gives you a hint as to where you can go and do whatever you want with it. But he says, I think I was either too low or too high, or I was too hyper or not hyper enough. But he said, I think you're going in the wrong direction. So, and I didn't want to. I thought, no, this is my interpretation of Mr. Mann, and I'm going to do it. Now, I didn't give him any attitude, but I kind of argued my side. I'd rather do it this way, my way. He said, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's right for what we're doing here. So I mean, he's the director. He's a friend. Okay. I mean, he's a funny guy. I trust him. Okay. So I just totally changed it. And I did it the way that your niece sees it. And when I watched it, I thought the guy was right on. My interpretation would have been wrong. It wouldn't have been funny. So it was sometimes, directors know what they're telling you. Listen to them.
And that director, by the way, was Howard Storm.
Howard Storm was the director, and the stand-up comedian was Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal. Yeah, I was going to say Billy Crystal and Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, we were all there. It was
how cool.
It was great. It was just amazing. But a luck of the draw, because nobody was famous. Nobody was anybody then.
Wow,
we were all just actors showing up.
And doing the work too. I mean, again, Fred Willard. There's Doris Roberts on there, and she's fantastic. Jeff Goldblum and Billy Crystal. Those are the big names that are popping out. Valerie.
Fairy Tale Theater was a great show, and it always had top of the line actors, whether they were famous.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't doubt that for a second. That the casting was amazing. I would watch the show. It was like a children's show, but it was an adult show too, because the actors were all right on. Here, my niece knows you're crazy, Carl. I'm sure Adam Sandler allowed improv. Yeah, but by then, I didn't like Adam at all, and I just wasn't improv. He's a prankster, and I just don't like pranksters. I don't like pranks. I have no sense of humor, by the way.
People got
yeah, I mean, funny. Wait, I got to shut this off. What the hell is going on? Okay. Yeah, really funny people don't have any sense of humor about themselves. I learned that I read a lot of autobiographies and biographies of funny people that I think are funny, whether they're comedians or not. And all of them just don't have any sense of humor. Everybody says, yeah, he doesn't laugh at himself. So pranksters for me are the enemy. I don't like them.
I get it.
If I got a pie in the face, maybe I wouldn't mind. I mean, that's
a harmless prank. That's one of the oldest.
No, that's right on. That's bowling down the center. It's bowling 101, But
that happened to me at a Denny's once. The waiter brought a warm apple pie, big full pie. He held it and he pretended to hit me in the face with it, but it started to slip and he went to catch it and made full contact with the face. Needless to say, the whole table was comped that day.
Did anybody laugh?
The whole restaurant.
All right, there you go. Okay,
he got the laugh. That's all.
Man,
my face and hair were just covered.
A pie in the face from a a waiter in a restaurant. That's the top of the line, man.
I was gonna say that's isn't that saying about life imitating art, imitating life, imitating art, that sort of thing. I mean, we've seen it so many times in a cartoon, and here it actually happened.
Apple pie.
Oh, it was warm.
The warm is the thing that made it over the top. Because generally a custard pie or a cream pie, it's cold or at least room temperature.
Yeah, at least it wasn't scalding hot. Warm was okay.
Oh, well, it was hot?
No, it was warm. At least it wasn't hot.
Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect.
So Larry, I'm scrolling through again all of your IMDb credits here, and you have been on like all of my favorite shows. You have either been on. In fact, it's so funny. I was actually just looking. I just got done binging Star Trek Voyager, and you were on like 4 different episodes of that. I mean, it's amazing, just all the stuff. So I have a question for you because
Wind Dancer, familiar? Wind Dancer?
No,
you missed that one. That's my favorite role of all time, second only to Escape from Alcatraz.
That was Star Trek Voyager.
What?
That was Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah. Wind Dancer. Wind Dancer was a white volleyball with a face. That was all. And it floated in the air. And I would float over to somebody and talk to them. And I was a white with red, like how not a volley, maybe not a volleyball, but they have a black and white hexagons on it.
Right, soccer ball kind of thing.
Soccer ball. Yeah. Okay. So they were red. So they were red and white hexagons, but there was eyes and a nose, and it was my face.
What did you wear? Green underneath
that?
In
the air, and it would just come, and it would say, "Hey, stop doing that." I loved it. I mean, it's just in one scene.
That was Star Trek Next Generation. The episode was Cost of Living in 1992. So I'm going to have to go back and check that out. So that's and I love Next Generation.
It's the silliest acting I've ever done, and it's great. I mean, I want that on my tombstone. Just that picture.
You're so like Mrs. Bannis is saying, your part in Home Alone was memorable. You're so memorable in everything you do. You just
I don't understand that except when I was a little child, like 2, 3, something I don't remember. People told me that people would come over to the carriage or to pick me up or I was like a weird kid. I mean, I was something about me. They I don't know. I could never figure it out. I do remember my uncles used to throw me through the air. I mean, in other words, and that was where I was talking about the book, writing the book and the things that happened to me off stage. Yeah, when I walk down the street, things change. It's really weird. People will just laugh spontaneously or cry or do something. Like I was on my bicycle the other day, yesterday, and I pulled up to a traffic light, and I'm right next to a car, and it's red light, and people are passing in front of me. People are, it's one of those cross things where you can cross any way.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody was crossing, but only 2 girls were crossing this way, like straight in front of me at 180 degrees. Is that 90 or 80? 90 or 180 when you're this way, that way,
I think I want to say 90.
It's 90 degrees, yeah. She was
90 degrees,
2 girls, okay. And very far off, somewhere, somebody was playing some, music in a boombox way far away, but you could slightly hear it. So she's walking, these 2 girls. And right as they got in front of me, and they looked at me, and I had my mask on even. So I didn't think they saw me. But as soon as they got in front of the bike, they started boogieing like crazy. To the music, and all the way to the curb. Did I do something what caused that? That's what happens spontaneously when I walk down the street. People
flowers bloom.
Recognize me, okay, like a car. I'll go, hey, how you doing? Hey. I go crazy. Fans are weird. I don't.
It's are weird. They are. It's amazing what you're remembered for.
Well, yeah, and yet they
What
still
you
don't know my
recognize
name.
for.
They don't know my name.
So
See,
what? No, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
no. Well, what's up?
No. I was going to say, and it looks like you have a chance at people getting to know you a little bit more. You've got some stuff in a couple things in post production right now. You're filming a couple of things right now too.
Oh,
this is all.
like what?
This is all according to IMDb. So again,
What am
I
I
don't
in?
know how. So
What
what is it? Stripped, the TV series. You have a couple of episodes that are in post production right now.
I am.
It's,
I didn't even know that.
you play Larry. And again, this is according to IMDb, so it could also be full of shit. So I don't know.
No. I think I got a phone call. This is really weird, man. Holy cow! I'm losing it, man.
But again, you're also doing I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things are in red right now. So something was just announced that you're going to be doing a voiceover.
Is Bengal in there?
Yes, Bengal is in there. Yeah, that's in pre-production right now.
Right, I did. I just did that a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and I hear the trees whispering and Cadillac
Right.
Respect.
And what's the last one?
Cadillac Respect.
Don't know.
So that one says it's filming right now. So you might not have been brought to the to the set just yet. And then something that was just announced is Bill Plimpton's presents Magnum Farce. Where
yeah, that's kind of in hiatus or in that's been banked. That I did that a couple of years ago. They're still trying to sell it.
Didn't he pass away?
Bill Plimpton?
Yeah. Or am I thinking?
I don't know, but
somebody
he
else?
was a great cartoonist, man.
Oh, he's amazing. He's unbelievable.
Amazing cartoonist. Yeah.
Can I gotta ask you? I mean, it's a generic question, but what was it like working with John Candy? Did you have good memories of that?
Well, what you would expect. He's great and so giving. He gave me so much screen time. I got a question for you, but I'll answer this first. Okay, he's a great guy. He's a great human being. He's very giving, artist, actor. He would tell me stuff to do. There's 2 things that I'm remembered for, but it was all from John Candy. In trains. No,
is that Armed and Dangerous?
Armed and Dangerous. 2 things that I did that I thank John Candy for. One was when they were giving out the guns and flashlights. We were all in line. John Candy was behind me, and there was one guy in front of me, and there was a table. So the guy at the table was handing out guns and flashlights. So the director said, "Okay, just get your gun, get your flashlight, and move on." And then when John Candy comes, I think that was all. John Candy just gets his flashlight and his gun. It was just a kind of a reveal scene,
Yes.
just to where'd they get the flashlights and the guns? They're handing them out. Okay, so and action, and the director. I was playing a guy on acid, Kokolovich. So I was playing him on acid. The director, this has happened to me many times. I'm kind of proud, but I don't understand it. The director thought Larry Hankin, was on acid. Then he thought that they had hired an acid freak to do the acid guy. So he wouldn't come near me. He thought I was going to bite his nose or something. So he wouldn't give me any direction, anything. He would stay away from me. He wouldn't even talk to me. I didn't find this out until later, where he confessed to me that I thought you were on acid. That's what he told me.
You're just not good an actor.
Weeks later, he told me this. Okay, so anyway, I'm in line, and and action. So he hands the guy in front of me, gets his flashlight, his gun. Next, I get up, hands me a gun, and a flashlight. And I immediately just turned it on and stared into the light as I walked away. Okay. He yells, "Cut!" Now, here's a different attitude, the same words. Larry, what are you doing? So I said, I'm looking into the flashlight. And I'm talking as a character. I always talk as the character if I'm on the set in costume and we just are shooting. What are you doing? I'm looking into the flashlight. Why? Because I'm on acid. All right, just don't do that. Just get the flashlight and get off stage, okay? Just do that. And then John Candy goes, what are you doing? He says to the director, what are you doing? He says, I'm telling him not to look into the flashlight. No, and John Candy goes, no, that's funny. He said, no, it isn't. And they're standing there. There's about 100 people. It's a major movie. So about 100 people standing around, a cruise, other people in this, it's a party or something. I don't know. There's a lot of people. And all of that, and standing there as they two say, it's funny. It's not funny. Well, it is funny. It should go in the movie. It's not going in the movie. It's not funny. And I'm just standing there listening to both of them. And he says, oh, and then John, because it's a director, John says, okay, all right. And he says to me, I tried, Larry. Okay, fine. Okay. All right, just do it again. Don't do it to the flashlight thing. So I said, okay, I'm not going to argue, man. I mean, it's just such a small part. I don't care, But I did think it was funny. So I thought it was clever. So we do it again. Bump, 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 bump. Cut. Okay, moving on. And the cinematographer, who's a major cinematographer, he's very famous. I don't remember his name now. But he had station. He had I don't know, whatever you call it. He says, wait a minute. What happened to the flashlight thing? And the director says, James, the guy's named James, something James. Keach.
Keach, yep.
James Keach. Says, what happened to the flashlight thing? And James goes, it was cut. The cinematographer says, why was it cut? He said, because it wasn't funny. And the cinematographer says, but it was funny. And the underlying theme to everybody talking to the director is, we need as many laughs in this movie as we can get. You're not hot shit with the laughs. Is what they were saying, but they wouldn't say it. He was hired because there was explosions in the movie, and he was a master of explosions. That's why he was directed. So when it came to humor, he didn't care. So the cinematographer says, no, it's funny. He says, it's not funny. It's not going in the movie. We're moving on. So the cinematographer says, all right, hold it. He said, I want you to just give me one shot. I want to do this scene again. Would you just let me do it one more time and let him do the flashlight? And I'm standing back and I'm going, what the fuck is going on, man? This is crazy. It's just a laugh. It's a little, who cares? But it seemed to be a big thing, So James Keach finally gets fed up. And then now John Candy is moving in and he is surrounding him too. So they got two guys on him. He says, okay, let's do it again. And let's get the hell out of here. I want to move on. We don't have any time. Okay. So then the cinematographer says, all right, can I have my crew, please? The camera crew. Okay. Whoever is not working on this shoot, right, on this scene right now, I want you to just stand around the set. Just gather around anybody who's not working on this scene. And about 10 guys gather around the set. Nobody knows what's going on now because nobody has actually heard the words going on. So now everybody is gathered around the set because was something going to happen? So, okay, so Keach is standing back. So now that the cinematographer is directing, and he goes, okay, I just want you to do the scene. We're just going to do the scene again. That's all. Okay, Larry, I want you to do the flashlight thing again. Okay, cool. All right, everybody action. Gun, thing, Larry. John Candy comes up, gets his gun, cut. And everybody around the set just falls down laughing. They held in until the thing was cut. Just like that. And I was so proud. I was and fine. Keith says, "All right, it's in. Moving on." God damn it. And so
it added something.
well, by then it didn't matter whether it did or not. It was somebody, when John Candy said, yes, it's funny, and he said no, the cinematographer said, no, this is like politics now, no, Biden won the election. Yes, he did. Yeah. That's what was going on. They just had to prove a point. It had nothing to do with by then. Okay, so that I thank John Candy and the cinematographer, but John had a lot to do with it because he stood up first. Okay, there's another scene in the movie where we're in the junkyard. We're in an actual garbage dump. It's me, John Candy, and his friend
Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy, another great guy.
Oh yeah,
they're all wonderful people. Eugene and John are real people, like you guys, like me, like us, like your viewers. We're just ordinary people who happen to be actors. Okay, so we're in the thing, and James Keach thought so little of the scene that he didn't even show up. He had second unit. It was just a second unit. It was just a cameraman, the sound guy, me, Levy, and John, and that was it. Just 5 people in a huge garbage dump. Okay, so all the scene was they were looking for things. I don't remember why, but we were looking for things. I just don't know. But we were there, and we had to find things, and I don't know what the things were or why.
I don't remember what your character found, but it was something ridiculous, and you pocketed it, right? Oh,
John. So we're looking for things. And there's this big, huge mound of garbage right nearby, which was great in the shot. That's why we were there. It's huge. And we're looking. And I came up with, I think it was a comb or a comb, a pink comb. And so I thought, well, this will be funny if I found this. It was broken. A couple of teeth were missing. So I found it. I go, hey, I found this. So John Candy goes, and we were that was improvised. We had no words except, hey, we found this. But so I come up to John and Levy, and I go, hey, I found this. And I said, oh, also I found, I think, a shoe. And I said, improvising, I said, hey, I found a comb and I found a shoe. And it was a really old, stupid shoe. I found a shoe. You guys know where another shoe is? A matching shoe? And, you see if you, no, we both didn't want, at first they didn't want to, they were using James Keach as me. They didn't want to be near me, but it was in character and it was right. They go, no, we don't know where another shoe is. And to get rid of me, John Candy said, I think there's a shoe up there. I think I saw a shoe on top of that mound there. And he's very, standoffish like. And I go, oh, up there? And he goes, yeah, up there. I go, okay, great. And I start going up. And then they cut away to John Candy and him looking for stuff. And then you hear me yell. And I did. I got up on top of the thing. And I said, hey, guys, I found it. And then I said, I found it. And John yells, oh, that's great. And I yell, yeah, but wow. And I fall and I disappear. So that was all improvised. But it was off of John Candy and how he just said, no, it's up there. He wanted to get rid of me. No, he just went with it. So that was the other thing that John Candy gave me. So that I thought was a clever, good laugh. Me disappearing into the dark.
That's hilarious.
I fell into a hole because I just went poof like that, not raw.
It's so much funnier when you disappear.
Yeah. So that's to explain. John was just a stand-up guy. And he was always my friend. We were going to make a movie together, right before he died. We stayed in touch. We lived near one another in Hollywood at the time. So yeah, I just love the guy. Well, everybody loved him.
Great.
And I love working with him. And he always gave you stuff. He does have a funny mind. I mean, you're working with him, and then he'll go, "Hey, why don't you find a shoe, or why don't you go up there?" Or he'll tell you something that's funny.
Yeah.
And Larry David is the same way. That's how he directs. He'll just tell you something that's so funny. I just watched Larry David direct when I did
Seinfeld.
I just would watch him direct. I would just show up just to watch Larry David. He doesn't direct. He doesn't direct the show. He stands off to the side and he just watches, kind of with his arms across his chest. He just watches very silently. And then every once in a while, he doesn't do it much, but he'll just call over one of his major actors, like Jerry or, Costanza, and say, "Hey, come here." And he'll go, and again, he takes you off to the side, and they'll just, and I would always watch him. And inevitably, he did this 3 times while I was there to 3 different people. He'll take you aside. He'll watch a scene, and you're watching the scene. Okay. And they'll say, "Hey, come here." And you're like, Costanza, say, "Come here." And I always wondered what the hell he said. But each time, the actor would go back into the scene, and it would be funnier. It would just be funnier. I don't know what he told the guy. And I was thinking, why doesn't he tell me something? I want to be funny like that.
You were great in that.
Me, why didn't he tell me? And finally he did. He did. And my character, the key to my character, which was I didn't improvise anything. It was on the page. But I kind of thought he's kind of passive aggressive. It was the Kramer guy, Tom Pepper. I'm getting from the vibes from the page. I'm getting he's kind of passive aggressive. He's either angry or he's nothing. He's just one or the other. So I said nothing, and I got nothing from, actually 0, from Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton grew up in show business in vaudeville, and that face that he does, that stone face of Buster Keaton, was called 0. Because his father, he was a trained tumbler. What he would do is his father would pick him up by the seat of the pants. He had, special pants where he could pick him up by the belt. And he was like 5, so it was easy to pick him up. And at certain stages, he would come out. His father and his mother had an act. And at one point, this 5-year-old would come out. And his father, in some way, would say, "Get off the stage," and he wouldn't, the 5-year-old. So he would pick him up by the back of his belt, so the kid was hanging like this, and he would throw him against the backdrop, this canvas, the in-one. Well, if you hit that, it goes like that, and then what happens is you slide down it because it goes, like that. So he never got hurt. But what his father would say to him, "Okay, kid, 0." And what 0 meant was totally relax, go neutral, so that you're floppy when you hit that. So it's not a hard hit. You're just floppy. So he goes, 0, boom, and throw it. And he goes, and it would, of course, bring down the house. And oh my God. And the kid would just get up and skip off, Oh, wow, that's really great. So I said, "Okay," so that's where I got 0 from. So it was in my mind. And there's a reason for it. So, okay. He comes up to me and he says, "Larry David," he calls me over and says, "Oh, it's my turn. He's going to give me something funny." So he says, as opposed to the other 2, this is what he said: "I know what you're doing." And I go, "Oh, really?" And he said it with such an attitude.
I could picture that.
Anybody like that. "I know what you're doing." No. It was no. He said, "This is what got me angry." He said, "I know what you're trying to do." It was the word trying. And it just got me pissed off. And I don't care who he is, I'm going to get pissed off back at him. And I said, oh, really? What am I trying to do? And he said, you're trying to do nothing. And it just blew my mind because that's exactly what I was trying to do. And I wasn't ready for that. So I go, oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah. He says, well, you're doing something. And he walked away. And I thought, best direction I ever got. Best direction, man. He just...
That's amazing.
Yes, because he didn't tell me what to do. He just told me what I was doing, and it was wrong. But he didn't say it was wrong. He just said, well, you're doing something. And it just keyed me right into, and that's how I got Tom Pepper. Just from that, I said, So that's when he said, I don't, or any other dried fruit. That sentence, that little speech, came from Larry David's telling me you're doing something. It just focused me on the characters. I don't know, that's my relationship to directors is great, and yet it's weird because I don't think they talk to any other actors that way. Because
you seem like you don't put up. You speak your mind to them. I think it sounds like.
Yeah, and so they speak their mind to me, and then there's it's based on the relationship, Larry David wasn't. I was hoping you weren't going to say that taking the raisins was your improv. I wish. Yeah. That was really clever, Larry David. So I mean. You try to get along, but the way I try to get along is a little different, just a little different.
You're honest.
Yeah. Hopefully so. And they're honest with me,
And we're going to be honest with you right now, Larry. This has been such a treat to get to talk with you. It truly has. We've sadly come to that time, though. We've got a wrap, my friend. And
well, too bad. Next time it's going to cost you.
How's the progress on your book coming? Before we go, I
got 30 pages done, but half of it is kind of what I was telling you about my show business stories. It's a lot of those stories, and then what I did, when I was off and just at home. But there's stories about me, with Adam and with James and with John Candy and with John Huston. I mean, some of them they're just great people. My time on Escape from Alcatraz was a learning experience because it was the first major movie that I was ever in. And it was with Clint Eastwood and Don Siegel. And they were just huge stars and great, incredible actors and directors. They're very high up there. And that was my first big thing. So I learned a lot there, and I carried it on with me to this day. So next time maybe we'll talk about Alcatraz or something.
Oh, we'd love to definitely dedicate an episode to that. And folks, if you want to know what Larry's up to, go to thereallarryhankin.com.
Yeah, it's all small letters though. That has capital.
It'll get in there.
It doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter.
No, I like to capitalize so that people can read it, especially. So
thereallarryhankin.com.
But check it out, and please invest in the wonderful things he has there for you. Like I know he has a fun T-shirt for sale.
One commercial. Yeah. That's all. That's it. I have you go to that site or TeePublic and go to that's one word TeePublic.com. I have a Keep It Down, a Mr. Heckles T-shirt. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh no way.
Yeah. Fact, yeah. I'm going to the website right now. I'm trying to pull it up fast. Come on, be my friend, internet. Okay, I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Go to tpublic.com and just type in Larry Hankin.
When you say John Huston, did you mean John Hughes or did you work with both?
Oh, John Huston and John Hughes.
That's both incredible.
Great. Jeez Louise.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Keep it. Keep it. Can you see it? There it is. There it is.
Oh, that's great.
So get yours today, friends.
Yeah, I'm right. To get one.
It says 9. It says 5 minutes after 9. Your clock, Jason.
Oh, this is It's been 5 minutes after 9 since we brought the clock home. My wife found that at a thrift store and refinished it for $10, and she turned it into art.
But it's always 9, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes after 9. 6 minutes after 9.
It is. You're not still on acid.
Like 0 hour when it's all going to go down the tubes.
When the clock. Oh wow! Look at my
Armageddon.
hair.
That's Armageddon. Okay. Anyway, Armageddon 6 minutes after 9. Remember that, folks. You heard it here first.
And Mrs. Bannis agrees she needs that shirt. I think we all need that shirt. So make sure you go to thereallarryhankin.com, get that shirt. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Mr. Larry Hankin for spending some time with us.
And for the record, Larry called on to us. This is the Twilight Zone. We filmed for 1 minute the entire show.
All right, let's do it again. I can remember everything. I can remember it. Okay, let's just do it again.
Right? Yeah, we're gonna do it, but we have to go 100 yards out first.
Yeah, towards the camera. I'll go back there and walk towards the camera.
Oh, good callback. Good callback. And ladies and gents, we will see you next Wednesday. Are we next Wednesday, Jason?
No, not next Wednesday. 2 Wednesdays
That's right.
from now.
2 Wednesdays from now. And who is our guest in 2 Wednesdays?
I can't remember his name, but he lived with Groucho Marx for 3 years. Steve, I should remember his name.
So we're
Kaufman?
Groucho Marx's personal secretary.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Get the
Have you heard a book
scuttlebutt
about it?
on Groucho.
Yeah. So, folks, make
Yeah.
sure to tune in for that in a couple of weeks. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Well,
we will see you. Yes, sir.
Don't forget
I'm
to plug
doing
our live
live.
show. Larry, thank you so much. I just wanted to thank you again for taking the time, and I'd love to have you back sometime.
Okay, give me a call anytime, man.
Thank
Okay?
you, man.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
See ya. He was awesome, Justin.
Oh, what a great show.
Yeah.
Holy
he was-
shnikes, man.
And the other thing is, next Saturday we have our live show. I just wanted
Yes,
to
we
plug that.
do.
12 to 3, weather permitting. If it's as nice as it is supposed to be this week, we'll be in for a good afternoon. Then we got magic, we got comedy, we got music.
It's going to be a great time. We have as guests, of course, it's going to be Hi, I'm Jason, live with Jason Pollock and Justin Gonzalez. That's me. And we have 3 wonderful guests. We have a former contributor to Saturday Night Live, Mr. Mark Riccadonna. We have an actress and incredibly funny lady. You may have seen her on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Katrina Braxton. And then, and why am I, oh gosh, I can't believe it. I'm forgetting his name right
Eric
now.
Jones.
Eric Jones, you would have seen him on Fool Me, Penn and Teller's Fool Me, or on America's Got, Fool Us, geez Louise, and America's Got Talent. Just one of the best practitioners of sleight of hand. And you get to see all of that for free on the 15th.
It's our gift to our listeners.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
So Louise, get on the plane and come on over.
And Mrs. Bannis, bring your husband from Staten Island. There's coffee.
Oh, yes, there's coffee. There's I believe just like today though. I know and a shout out to Tom Bannis. He popped in a little bit earlier.
Yes.
I know he's out working, he's gigging. He's especially now that people are starting to get back together. People are starting to do things. And so I'm hoping I believe he said he's going to be working next Saturday. But if he's not, come on down, you guys. Come on down to beautiful, historical Mount Holly, New Jersey.
The Colonial Cafe.
And I think that's it, Jason. I think
That is all our stuff.
That's a wrap. Justin,
when is your next show?
My next show will be I have some small private things during the week that I'm doing. I'm doing a couple of my one-man shows that I do for some private audiences, and then I think the next public thing that I'm doing is actually our show, and then after that I will be doing a show for the Marian Anderson Historical Society in Philadelphia. That'll be next Sunday. So please go to Justin Gonzalez Tenor on Facebook to find out a little bit more about that.
Please do.
And how about you, Jason? Or do we have anything fun and crazy planned for this week?
Next Thursday, I'll be at the Candlelight Theater with Coleman Green and Tim Grill and Sherry Franklin.
Oh, that's
And then
beautiful
we have
theater.
June 17th at the Candlelight, it'll be me with Irene Bremis and Carmen Lynch. It's going to be a fun show. June 17th. I'm looking forward to that one.
That's going to be awesome. And Candlelight Theater down in beautiful Delaware.
Arden, Delaware.
Yes, just outside of Wilmington. So if you're in our neck of the woods, South Jersey, Philadelphia area, it's not that far of a drive. It's a beautiful theater, and again, these are going to be awesome shows. You don't want to miss them.
Justin, thank you for everything. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Oh, you too, my friends. Stay well, everyone, and we will see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye now.
See ya.